Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hello, my name is Zara and I am a registered nurse working here in the UK. In today's video, we are joined by a very special guest, Nurse Nicola, a UK trained nurse now working in the Middle East. If you are interested in working in the Middle East, then definitely stick around because we're going to be exploring a variety of different topics that I'm sure you would want to know. So let's welcome Nicola. Nicola, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi Zara. Yeah, my name is Nicola. I am a neonatal nurse currently working in the Middle East. I'm paediatric trained by background. I have been a nurse for nearly 7 years now. I started off my nursing career actually in paediatric, cardiac and respiratory, and then I moved abroad to Australia for a year where I sort of rediscovered my love for neonate. I came back to the UK after a year. I did some further training within neonates, and then I made the decision to move abroad to the Middle East, and I've been here now for nearly 3 years, and that's where I am today.
Oh, amazing. I cannot believe you have done so much in such a short space of time. Like, it's unbelievable. And really ambitious as well. Like, did you know that you wanted to kind of move abroad? Was that always part of the plan? Because before you even moved to the Middle East, you've said that you've gone to Australia. Tell us a bit about that.
Australia was kind of a bit of a whim of a decision. The Middle East is something that I've always wanted to do. It was something that I was always going to do throughout my nursing career. But at the time, I didn't really have the experience to be able to go to the Middle East. So I started researching where I could go with the amount of nursing experience that I had. And Australia was one of those places that was available. I knew a few people who had been there. And so I thought, okay, I'll just give it a go. Like, why not? You know, we'll see what Australia's like. So yeah, that was kind of like how it started off.
What qualifications do you need when considering to practice nursing in the Middle East?
Depends what speciality you work in. So obviously for those who are familiar with neonates, there is additional qualifications within the neonatology speciality that enables you to sort of further your skills and your understanding. So I carried out that course. One, because I wanted to have that behind me anyway, just as a neonatal nurse, irrespective of if I was moving abroad. That is an additional thing that you should consider, is doing your specialism courses. And then on top of that, I also had to complete an exam called the Prometrics exam. It's a general nursing exam. It's very similar to the exam that they do in America, the NCLEX exam. It's quite Americanized. So it is a general nurse exam. And so for pediatric nurses like myself, it can be quite difficult because we don't have any adult training, no mental health training. I would say definitely get some courses under your belt because it serves you when you come back as well, because you don't now have to think about playing catch up because you've already done it.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And I think that's really important. So kind of just following on from that, can you go to the Middle East as a newly qualified nurse, or is it preferable to actually have a specialty and some years of experience behind you?
It's not possible to go as a newly qualified nurse as far as I am aware. Most places, regardless of whether it's a general ward that you're working on or like specific specialism, will require you to have some years of experience. When I was looking to go, initially I'd only had about just under 2 years experience, and that wasn't enough. But when I was looking to go the second time, I had about 3.5, nearly 4 years experience, and that was enough. The job description will tell you what they want you to have, and so you can look at that and see if you've got it or if you don't, and if you don't have it, then you know what you need to work towards.
So Nicola, how do you feel being part of a new culture? Did you experience any culture clash?
I mean, there are definitely differences between Western culture, my own culture from, where my family originated from, and of course the culture in the Middle East. It wasn't like a massive shock for me. There are definitely things that I learned specifically about the culture that I didn't know prior to coming, but I never have felt like, oh my goodness, this is so hard for me that I can't adapt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it also helped because you were saying that you've been to the Middle East before, you've like as on holidays, and you've learned through your friends as well, so I guess naturally you're gonna trust what they say.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And I think people have quite I think it's getting better now because more people do travel to the Middle East on holiday, but I think there's definitely some fears I think people initially have about the Middle East and the culture and how strict it is. But you know, you'd be so surprised. There are so many Western, British and other countries expats out here, and it's really not kind of what it is always perceived as.
Now, tell me, how is your Arabic?
Oh, my Arabic, I'll be honest, it's non-existent. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, no, it's a non-existent. I can say the basic. I can say very, very minimum. I can greet people. I can say thank you. I can say, you know, meal. I'm being completely honest. My Arabic is not great. It is a really difficult language to learn. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people here speak English, and most people, if they can speak English, they will speak English with you. A lot of nationals, they like to speak English with you, as do other nationalities, because they want to improve their English, or they want their children to speak better English, so they like to communicate with you in English. And we are lucky because we have translators within the hospital.
I guess reassuring to know that English is spoken there, and that it wouldn't be a barrier with nursing care, because communication is so important and you want to be able to communicate with your patients. So do you feel like you have enhanced or improved your other forms of communication? So for instance, do you find that you're using more of your body language or your facial expressions more?
A lot, yeah, a lot of body language, because, you know, in neonates it's a lot of kind of like action movements, you know, picking up the baby, washing the baby, feeding the baby, so that's definitely improved. And even just the importance of like a smile, like I don't understand you, you don't understand me, but there are times when, you know, the baby might do something and me and the mum will both laugh. We don't understand each other, but we do understand each other. And I think that is one thing that is quite like important, that although I can't verbally communicate with you, I can still communicate with you like through like touch, a reassuring pat on the back. I can still communicate via actions. And sometimes, you know, Google is your friend.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to make do. You know, if you need to communicate, you've got to make it work so that you can communicate with these parents 100%. Yeah.
I think everyone talks about this, that a big incentive for nurses, particularly from the UK, to move to places like the Middle East is because of the salary. Is there a big difference in the salary?
I mean, there's without a shadow of a doubt, there is a massive difference between UK pay and Middle East pay. I think that is the main incentive for people. I mean, it's a generalised assumption, but generally that is one of the reasons why people come to the Middle East, because it is tax-free out here. Now, some countries within the Middle East have started to bring in tax. So if you are thinking about going to the Middle East, it's worth researching and finding out, because even though it's only a small percentage, if your goal is to be out here to save and you're here for a couple of years, that can still play an impact on what you save. They come with a lot of sort of packages. So you normally will find that you will get a flight home paid for you once a year. Accommodation is provided for you, or money will be given to you for accommodation. Transport, money will be given to you, or transport will be provided for you. And then in some places, not all Arabic countries, but it is actually the law that when you leave, you are given a bonus for however many years you've worked in the country. So again, it's about finding out what the laws are, because they're going to vary from place to place. And not every hospital or clinic or wherever you decide to work is going to offer the same packages, you know. So you might hear that someone got this package. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get that package, and I think it's really important to remember that.
What is the cost of living like? Like, London is notorious for just being an expensive place to live. Is that the same for the Middle East? Is it quite expensive to live out there?
Yeah, it is expensive to live out here. Well, it depends. It depends in like the area of life. Like I find that, for example, taxis are, I don't drive out here, so I find that taxis are like very cheap, but food shopping is expensive because a lot of everything is imported here. Clothes shopping, if you're going to buy something, it's slightly more. A lot of it's to do with all the importing from like around the world more than anything.
You need to have loads of money saved up before you move to the Middle East.
I don't think you need to have loads of money saved up, but you should definitely have some savings. Of course, it's going to depend on your individual circumstance. Obviously, if you are moving out here on your own, definitely need to have have some money put aside, because throughout the process you might need to pay for something, which you will get it reimbursed, but obviously at the time you will need to pay for it yourself. And also you need to be mindful that when you come out here, you don't know when your first paycheck is going to be, so you should have something that is going to enable you to, you know, live and, you know, cover you in case you don't get a full month's paycheck, or maybe you're not going to get your salary until the following month.
Now, it's not all about nursing. Regardless of where you are in the world, you need to have a work-life balance. So Nicola, what do you get up to when you're not working? I have this image of you just soaking up the sun, sipping your favorite drink on the beach. Is that the case? Is that what life is like in the Middle East?
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely stuff to do. Like, it depends what you enjoy doing, but you know, you can go to the beach, there's desert trips, go out on the boats, you know, there's brunches, there's nightlife, like there is stuff to do. It's definitely not like as busy as, you know, big cities like London or like New York. So there is enough to do.
Okay, so just some miscellaneous questions I'm going to throw your way. So what was the biggest challenge you faced moving to the Middle East?
I think it's been difficult being away from friends and family. The one thing that I find difficult about nursing abroad is missing out on things. I've missed out on weddings, my friends having babies, family functions and events, and that is part and parcel. That is a sacrifice that you make, and although it's a sacrifice you make, it doesn't make it any easier. Even though I've lived abroad before, it doesn't make it any easier.
There's a lot of truth in that, right? You can even be moving away from university, away from your family, and still feel it, but imagine moving different countries and having that distance there. So yeah, no, I respect that. Now, what golden advice would you give to anyone who is considering pursuing a career in the Middle East?
Do your research, understand where you are going, what you are getting yourself into, and make sure that you can adapt to it, because there are differences, and make sure that whatever your goal or your reason or your purpose is, and it might just be a lifestyle change, it might just be because you want to experience something different. Just always have that in the back of your mind, because it's very easy to get caught up in this whole expat life, living abroad, oh my god, my life's amazing. But you know, just make sure that you hold on to your goals and the reason why you made that move in the first place.
Working in the country where you have lived your whole life, or where you did your training, it's very natural to want to stay in that bubble. It's your comfort zone. What's amazing about being a nurse is there's endless amount of opportunities to explore. If you are considering a career where you want to have lots of variety, you want to think about going abroad or pursuing other interests, then I think nursing is a brilliant career path to consider, and nurses like Nicola are perfect examples of that. This conversation has definitely given me more insight into what nursing life is like beyond the UK border, and that's very refreshing to know. A big thank you to Nicola for coming on and sharing her experiences. Guys, if you've got any questions, then do feel free to message her on either her socials, or you can even leave some comments down below and either one of us will get back to you into answering. For more videos on nursing life here in the UK, you can check out my UK nursing playlist, and if you really enjoyed this collab, you can also check out some other collabs that I've done with some other content creators. Thank you guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care and stay safe.
Hey everyone, my name is Zara, a registered nurse working in London. I'm also a Bhangra dancer and a cat lover.
Hey team, my name is Kieran. I'm a junior doctor based in Manchester. I'm also a comedian, a TikTok #influencer, and a coffee enthusiast.
Today, we are going to take you through our shifts working as a surgical nurse in a busy surgical ward
and an on-call trauma and orthopedics SHO doctor in a major trauma centre.
Let's do this.